Hey everyone, happy International Women's Day again here. Today we're going to be doing the same thing we did with, watch my words. Today we're going to be doing the same thing we did with International Men's Day. We'll be going over the women who've inspired us and, whether it's been in life, throughout history. We'll even go into a couple celebrities I could think of, and I'm sure that you two can think of. Of course, I left this on in the background. There we go. But actually, so me and Zoe actually kind of we're discussing an interesting issue that we've ran into. And since it's International Women's Day and it's our month, I felt like, hey, we could discuss this here. So, Zoe, why don't you tell us your story that you had with Target?
Okay, I was waiting for a store to open in the same area, and I had to use the restroom. And I go, oh, I'll just go into Target. So I go into Target in the women's room, and it's pretty uneventful. There was like one other lady there. And then as I leave, this big, humongous guy walks in, and he's got long hair and like pasty white makeup on. But he's gigantic. He must be like 6'4". And I go, oh my God, that dude just walked right by me into the bathroom. So then I decide I'm going to follow him and see what's up. So I wait for him to get done, and then I follow him over to the Starbucks. And then he meets a couple friends there. And the funny thing was, is I was looking at my notes on that from my other post, was that they all called him he. No one called him she. But he was just, transgressing women's boundaries because he felt he could. Or he didn't want to tell his friends, that, that's what he does. But yeah, it was just weird. They were all calling him he. And then he gets on his phone to call back about his job interview. And he was supposed to hear back Monday, and it was already Wednesday. And they hadn't called him back. So he called, and it was for a women's clothing store. And it just seemed like his whole area of life was just focusing on trespassing women's boundaries while looking like a clown. I don't know what's going to happen with the youth of tomorrow.
Yeah, so I mean, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, it just seemed like he did it because he could, and no one can say anything, and you're kind of stuck,
Yeah, I agree, Zoe. I mean, I kind of reminds me a little bit in high school. We had this one kid who wasn't gay, but because he couldn't get women, he would say that he was gay so that he could get close to the girls and sit on their laps and stuff like that. I mean, that's pretty harmless in the sense of at least it's not like trying to force himself onto the public bathroom. It's more like the girls not realizing, okay, this kid's just pretending to be gay so he can get closer to the women. I forgot when he ended up dropping the act, but I think he basically ended up getting a girlfriend. So he's like, okay, I don't need to pretend anymore.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah. So, and I remember because at first, I was this dumb kid. I didn't know until someone had told me, no, he just says that because he wants to be able to get the girl's attention because he wasn't a cute guy, so,
right.
but yeah, so, I mean, but I almost feel like it's a little bit like that, except for, it's not just a kid, just a kid being a dumbbell. That's like, and I'm not trying to say, oh yeah, this guy's going to do something weird, but the fact that he's, like you said, trying to cross women's boundaries,
in every area of life.
Yeah, exactly. And then especially with the women's clothing, like I remember back in the day, I used to be able to go to Victoria's Secrets and, I mean, especially when you're like younger. So, you're younger, you're buying underwear and you really don't want to be around men, especially like, in your teens and 20s, you're kind of like, okay, I don't want to be at a store guys are at when I'm trying to, look at bras and stuff. And I remember back in the day, I don't ever recall seeing a man working there. I'm pretty sure it was only women working there, at least in my mid to late teens. And then I remember if a guy ever came in, the stores were smart and they would send like the manager and she would go up to the guy and go, okay, what are you looking for? And basically, if he was legitimately there for like a girlfriend or wife, she would help him pick out the things and put him right out the door. If he wasn't there and he was just trying to be like a weirdo and the girls' lingerie store or underwear store, he would get bum rushed right out the door, like, because he's like, well, I'm not going to buy anything, so I'm getting out, and yeah, I mean, and then I think in my 20s is when I first noticed, like, I think, and it had to be, it was like an effeminate gay man. It wasn't like, oh, this is just, again, like I was talking about the kid from college. It was like, high school. This was like a guy where, it was very effeminate gay. So I was like, okay, still not comfortable, but, at least it's not like, you know, it's not like, over there, I don't know. I don't want to say like, it's just, at least it's not like a creepy guy, at least. And they didn't have him at the checkout. And they really
Mm-hmm.
didn't have him like going up to women and asking for their measurements. So I really don't even know what he was there for. I don't know if it was just because like, the whole like, where you can't tell certain people no.
Right.
But I don't know if they had him stalking or something, but he was there, or like if he was doing the check on a list, I think he had like a board or something. So I don't know. He just wasn't really like interacting with the women, at least. So I was like, okay. Well, like this last, I don't know, I think it was like a month or so ago when I went, and I hadn't gone in forever. So I went to go buy, some underwear and stuff. And so when I went, I'm like going, okay, why are there like a whole, like, first off, I saw like, I could tell, okay, that it was like, again, there was a gay guy there who was kind of doing the thing on the board. I'm like, okay, I've seen that before. It's not shocking. But then as I'm there, all of a sudden I see like a bunch of guys come in, and
Oh
they're
my
not even like,
goodness.
again, I'm kind of going, oh, okay, are you guys going to hurry up and like move? Cause I'm not going to be picking out stuff when you're like, I feel like someone's breathing down my neck. And the last thing you want is like, it's like, I don't want people looking at what I'm buying. It's for me. It's for under my clothes. You don't need to see what I wear under my clothes. So, it's like, and I'm waiting for like, again, like, one of the floor managers or something to come over, go, can I help you, and brush them out? Nope, just, okay, this is normal. And they're like laughing and joking. And I'm like, okay, are you there for your wives or not? Because like, hurry up and get out. But
Oh
finally they
wow.
kind of like, yeah, it's like awkward, but they finally kind of move, deeper into the store. So I'm like, okay, you're some other lady's problem now at this point. But then like, I go to the checkout, and they have like a guy checking, bringing up the stuff. And it's like, again, and there was like a girl and a guy teller, but they don't even let you pick. They should have at least, if you're going to
Oh
do
yeah.
that, let us go into whatever line, but it's just gotten so to this point where there's no understanding that women don't always want to be around men. And I don't know why that's such a shocking thing. Like when we're buying things, you don't need to be there.
Right. And I don't even know if I want a guy checking me out of a store like that, I don't know. I would just feel
Yeah,
uncomfortable. I might put stuff down and, try another day.
exactly. And if I wasn't like time crunched that day, I probably would have just, because I remember I was like walking, I had called my mom, like, I'm never going back to Victoria's Secrets again. I'm like, how do you have a guy there? And and I'm not saying that, oh yeah, they're checking you out, but it's uncomfortable for them to look at the stuff they know you're going to put on, they know you're going to wear,
Right.
I mean, it's just,
It's like having a guy look through your underwear drawer. Oh, that's cute. You wouldn't do it.
exactly. Or are you sure that color looks good on you? I mean, you just like, get out. I don't know. It's like, you don't belong there, I and it's like, you can't even like when you do that kind of stuff. And I hope that one day this somehow gets out to like a store to hear. But when you do that stuff, what it does is it makes us not be able to even hold up the underwear to look at them. I can't even hold it up to look at it, because what if it's something that I can't tell? Sometimes you can't tell, like when you hold up the fronts, you can't tell what the back looks like. And then you
Right.
turn the back around, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, no, that's not going to happen. But like,
Yeah.
you can't even do that. You can't even look to make sure, okay, wait, does this have like a crotch? Because I'm not like trying to look for underwear, like cross that line here. And you can't even go and look at that because you feel like there's people looking at you. Not women, but you feel like there's guys looking at you. And I'm not saying that the guys are getting like all the guys are getting hot and bothered over me. But what I'm sitting there was, I don't even want some guy looking at me and judging me. Like, do you really think you should wear that? I don't want someone looking or thinking that way about me. I just want to go about my business and get my stuff and leave.
I would definitely feel uncomfortable with guys in the store. I would,
Yeah.
I would feel, not able to shop, not able to hold stuff up, I would feel that way.
Yeah. And it's not like Victoria's Secrets is, I know, I'm going to get it. It's not like it's a Fredericks by Hollywood. It's not like that kind of store. It's not what do they call it? The shops or whatever, I can't remember what those stores are called, but it's
A
not like it's
BDSM shop or something
yeah,
like that.
thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's not like it's something like that where you're going to be like, okay, I'm going to run into a risky couple. It's like literally like, it's for underwear. It's mostly for underwear. And then especially, I was thinking like right next door is Pink, and Pink is supposed to be for like the training bras and like, for the girls who are hitting 12. They're definitely not going to want to be, if I'm at like a 34-year-old woman do not want to be around men when I'm buying underwear. A younger girl is definitely not going to want to be around men. And you're going to just allow like creeps and pedos and weirdos. You're going to allow that chance for them to come in.
Yeah, that's just weird. Yeah.
I got to find that Victoria's Secret that rushed that one guy out. The one that rushed that guy who was like, "Oh, I'm trying to." What was it? It was like the trans dude, but you like probably could tell. Yeah, I don't think so, dude. You look like you're bordering AGP instead. But like that guy who kind of got bum rushed right out the door from the Victoria's Secret's manager. I'm like, man, I want to find that Victoria's Secrets and shop over there, where at least you know you can be comfortable. I mean, come on, guys, think.
Yeah, I don't know what they're thinking. But like a BDSM store, you're expecting, that kind of vibe, I would guess, Because I actually went shopping one time in West Hollywood and it was one of those stores and I wanted to get a corset for a club and they only had a guy in there. So I actually had a guy like cinch me up, but he was gay, but still it was my choice. I could have decided not to, cinch it up and stuff like that. But and that's different. That's like a whole different vibe. But if you're going to just, buy underwear and yeah, that's just uncomfortable. But what I do with the Target situation was I went to the Yelp and I left a review warning other women that, there's guys around that don't respect women's boundaries and to be careful. I think that's all you really can do because, they like to be inclusive and all that. And until something changes, all we can do is warn other people. I mean, I've been wanting to go back to the gym for a while, but it's always like, I don't want to be in there with a guy. I don't want to deal with that, And so I finally just started, working out at home more seriously, but it really kind of cramps your style to have to worry about that stuff all the time.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, even at my dad had asked me a question kind of about that because at his gym there was like a trans person there, and he was like, "Oh, well, what bathroom would they use?" I'm like, they use the women's." He's like, "Oh, so that means they're snipped." I said, "No, it doesn't mean they're snipped." I'm like, first off, it doesn't get snipped; it gets inverted, which apparently that scared him more than like getting snipped. I don't know why, but he's like, "Oh, like I'm like,
Oh
yeah," I'm like,
no.
it's like, yeah, they just go in and just take over spaces, and it's like if my dad is like this really kind of old school dude and wouldn't have cared, it's like then you guys are safe, okay? You guys are safe. You can go in the guy's room. You don't need to be invading our spaces, you know, and especially like our changing areas, places where we're going to be very vulnerable at. Like it's ridiculous. And then it also like I don't think they realize or don't care is that it's like women's spaces also protect children. That's where like the changing tables are. Um,
Right.
or potty training too. Like my niece, she's getting potty trained. So sometimes I go into to take her into the bathroom and stuff, and I have to hold, the door a certain way, so she can go and I can hold her on it because she's like really tiny. I don't want her falling in the toilet, but I can't always lock the door behind me because of that. So
Right.
can't be expecting like a guy to walk by. I need to make sure that it's like we need to have privacy. Women need to have privacy, especially with their children that they're taking care of. This is just
Right.
like insane.
Yeah,
I
it
like.
is. It's just
Go ahead, Sarah.
crazy. It's just crazy. I mean, there's no respect for women and we have to take care of the children. We, we even have to have our boys go into the restroom for a while and until they're mature because men can't be trusted. And now the men just come into the women's room.
Exactly,
Oh,
Zoe. Yeah, you're right. Like, yeah, like even like the little boys, they have to use our bathroom because yeah, there's been so many creepy incidents with the older men, and I mean, it's not funny, but it was like in that like ironic sense, I guess, where someone had said like, I guess there's like this new argument to say women are now like the aggressors and everything. And so, they were just pointing out how stupid that is. I said, well, I believe that the stats went up because we started including men in our female stats. Of course it's going
right.
to go up, you know? Jeez. It's like, yeah, you're taking away those spaces. If you guys cared about children, you would protect women's spaces to protect at least the children. If you don't care about women, because I know that there's like those weird groups. If you don't care about women and okay, whatever, who cares? But you should at least care enough about kids to want to protect them.
Well, that's the thing. The thing that stands between kids and men are women.
Mm-hmm.
And we're the ones in the way. Ever since feminism came along, they pulled kids out of factories and they went to school, and kids' lives got better when women's lives got better. And now I think we're backtracking. Women's lives are moving backward because men can say they're women, and now you can't even protect your children from men coming into the women's room and staring at them like that YMCA pool in Canada, where the guy said it was his human right to be in there, and he was peeping at a 9-year-old girl.
Oh my gosh. And then they blame the 9-year-old girl, and they go, "Well, then don't change in there." I'm like, "You're telling the girl not to change in the girl's room?"
Yeah, it's crazy. It's just so sad. Something's going to have to change, because I don't know, how businesses are even going to function. Because people are going to not want to go to gyms or try on clothes in places. I think it's going to have wide ranging effects, because I won't go into a Target changing room because they're not very private and they're co-ed. Um, so I think that there's going to be a lot of change, a lot of loss of business. People don't want to have to deal with men in their spaces. So
Mm-hmm.
I guess one way to avoid that is to stay home.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, or you're not going to be able to stay out as late, which means you're not going to buy as much stuff.
Right.
These businesses were smart. They would say they're sex-based bathrooms because that is what is protected under the law. There is a law that's sex-based, and I feel like sometimes women need to start when we start doing lawsuits, we need to start going that, you know what? Okay, fine. You want to play the gender rights thing, go ahead. But you know what? That doesn't get to trample my sex-based rights. And my sex-based rights said I get to have a separate space here. Yeah, that doesn't get infringed on with these dudes.
And the thing is, when you offer third spaces, they don't want it. They act like some kind of segregation. It's like, the two aren't even similar at all. Segregation. I don't even understand where they get that. They just want it to be seen as oppressed. It's just a way to bring oppression into it.
Yeah. And then it's weird because I'm like, okay, well, what thing can a black woman do that's different from a white woman? What are the differences between the two? Nothing. Skin color. There you go. But what are the biological differences? Nothing. Okay, now tell me the difference between a white trans woman and a white woman. And tell me, yeah.
Yeah, there's quite a few genetic differences there. But the thing is, you offer them a space and they don't want it. They just want to be able to infringe upon women. And you see all the photos in the women's room. That's their whole goal, is to take photos in there and show all their friends, that they behave badly.
Yeah.
So
And then, geez, there's like another, and like the other, yeah, like when you tell them, hey, do a third. Oh, I know. Have you seen this a couple times now where they're like starting to go around and they're saying once they have enough changes, they're officially cis woman, which I think is hilarious because I hate that word.
yeah,
I
I
mean,
have heard that. I've heard like India Willoughby say that she's cis, and that one philosophy tube dude said he has changed sex, and he's not trans anymore. He's an actual woman, and they're just so deluded. Uh, I don't know. It's really sad that instead of getting the treatment they need, um, they're being medicalized. And I guess India Willoughby is actually gay. I guess he went on a date with a man, but he was married previously and had a couple kids. Um, I just don't understand why transitioning to a woman makes you any less gay if you're going out with a man. I mean, it's still gay sex.
yeah,
I
exactly.
You're still gay.
Well, it was like that guy who was talking about being with ladyboys. I don't know if you saw. He was saying he'd been with ladyboys and that it was heterosexual. He was saying that he wasn't gay. He was straight, even though he was with ladyboys. And it was like, okay, let's break down what the different sexes are. Okay, so there's heterosexual, and homosexual, there's bisexual. If you are sleeping with males and females, it falls under bisexual, as bi means two. Sexual, go on, sex. I mean, you guys tell me all the time there's a difference between gender and sex, and you could grasp that concept at least, and you grasp the basis of sex, and yet you're like going, but it's not homosexual. But there's sex and a homo right there. The same words. I mean,
I know that's the weirdest thing. It's like these people calling themselves straight when they go out with uh trans women, or that's just ridiculous. You're not straight. It just blows my mind that they relabeled gay.
I mean, yeah, and then like the when they make their wives have to, when the wives who stick around, they're like, "Oh, you're a lesbian now," and the wife's like, "No, but you changed the terms." I'm a lesbian.
That's really hard, when you have a relationship and that happens. It's best to bolt as soon as you can. Things aren't going to get better.
Yeah, I mean, geez, and then especially if they keep going further down the rabbit hole and they decide to do the surgery and stuff. I mean, I can't
Right.
even imagine.
I mean, basically, you just become a caretaker for that person because the medicalization. I mean, that's a horrendous surgery. It's like you're 5 weeks in bed at least. I mean, they can't even move around. That's how come I knew that Bruce Jenner didn't have the surgery, because he was on the red carpet the whole time he said he had surgery. I'm going, you would have been laid up. You wouldn't have been on this red carpet. You wouldn't have been at a Starbucks here. So it's just kind of one of those things where you're going to become kind of like a caretaker for one of those. You're going to be a nurse. That's what these women are for these men now. They're nurses, and maybe in some way that makes them feel more needed. I don't know. It's not healthy
Yeah,
to
yeah, and then
purposely maim yourself. It's not healthy.
yeah, exactly. And I don't even think they keep them in long enough after their surgery. It sounds like they kind of like go, okay, you're gonna have to go home, and then we don't have to deal with you because we don't want to hear when there's complications. Like they don't want to keep them long enough to, because it sounds like there's complications that will happen like a couple days after surgery, and they just try to boot them right out the door. And be like, you'll be healthy enough. I'm like, I don't think so.
Well, you've seen how hard it is for them to go and get like someone to look at it who isn't their actual surgeon. No other surgeon wants to look at that stuff that someone else did. I mean, it really is kind of you have that doctor and that's it. No one else wants to look at it and no one else wants to deal with it. Um, did you see that latest one for Yarden Silvera?
Oh, I didn't see that.
Oh, well, anyway, he had complications and apparently he had his colon blocked up and he died of sepsis at
Oh
like
my God.
23 years old.
Oh
Yeah,
my
very,
gosh.
very, yeah. And he was banned from the hospital when he came back with his complications. They booted him and banned him from the hospital. It was like a New York hospital.
How could they just ban him like that just because they didn't want to, because they know they botched it and didn't want to deal
Right,
with it?
right.
I can't believe that's still allowed. I mean, that I feel like we're back in the days of lobotomies, like
And
where
it's
you were allowed.
funny,
Oh, go ahead.
they found that out because they came out with a new W path recommendations, and they had some doctors listed there, and people went through Yelp reviews, and that's where they found it. This guy has been dead for 3 years now.
Oh
I
my,
mean, there was like no justice. No one did anything. No one sounded the alarm. No one said anything. I don't even know how his family is dealing with that. You have a young person, and now they're gone. So it must be hard all around, especially if they had to suffer like that. To have their body just maimed and then told they can't go to the hospital. I can't even imagine.
I can't either because I mean I think we even have laws that say you can't just like in a hospital setting you can't refuse a patient until like they've been stabilized. It doesn't sound like they were even stabilized.
No, not if your colon's leaking to the point where you die of sepsis. I definitely think they have like a malpractice suit. His family needs to do something, but I'm sure it's
Yeah,
hard. Like, it won't bring him back, but maybe it would help someone else
yeah,
get the help
yeah.
they need.
Exactly. And sometimes that could be like, then it's just not it feels like it's not in vain at that point. So yeah. Um, Michael says, Happy International Women's Day to my favorite bio trans woman, Cole.
Oh,
Thank you.
Tony says, I'm straight, but my girl is packing like me. Hey, Tony. Hey, Michael. And then here they go. They just, hey, everybody. Happy you could join us on keep calling it Happy Women's Day. It's not International Women's Day. There we go. So, geez, that's just like sad. That really is sad.
yeah, it's definitely definitely they need to straighten this out. I don't know what's going to have to happen to straighten this out, but I think there's a lot of people who have suffered, and a lot of them won't even say anything because the trans community will ostracize them. So it's just
Yeah,
sad all around.
that's like the other terrible thing is like they are so. I mean, and then here's the thing that cracks me up. Okay, if you are so bent on pronouns being important and everything and all that, blah 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 blah, but then yet you get a detransitioner who detransitions, and you sit there and you call them whatever they transitioned into. You're like, oh no, you're still a he because you look like a he. Even they're like, well, no, I'm actually a female and I'm a she, and I detransition. No, you're a he. And then they come at us and tell us, well, you guys are the cruel ones to the detransition. I'm like, I'm not the one giving them gender dysphoria right now. You are the one causing them to suffer with their gender dysphoria because you keep labeling them the thing that they're not. So, I mean, you're not even adhering to your own rules.
Right, because people are who they say they are. So, except for detransitioners, apparently.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. The whole thing flip flops as to when activists get a hold of it. And I've heard like those poor detrans people, they get told to shut up by all kinds of people, by politicians, by trans activists. I mean, it has to be hard and difficult, and you're dealing with what's happened to your body. I can't even imagine.
Mm-hmm. Especially Newsom. Has he ever heard Chloe Cole? Has he even listened to her yet?
I think I saw some video once of them approaching him, and he kind of ducked out.
God,
yeah, he doesn't care. It's no skin off his back.
Yeah, I can't stand that guy. Really, if you guys vote him in for president, I'm going to be ashamed of it. Anybody who votes for that man for president, I'm going to be ashamed of. I just want you guys to know.
I would vote for Kanye.
You. What, cool?
What, Kanye for president?
I was looking through that last time, and I actually looked up his position on several things, but then I couldn't vote for him. But he was up there.
They had that meme. I can't remember what state hadn't voted yet. I can't remember. I think it was like Alaska or something. It was like one of the states. And it was like a meme where it was like basically Biden and Trump waiting to hear like the outcome of the state's election. And then it was like that picture of that guy when he's sweating. And it was like, whatever state it was, too afraid to tell them that they voted for Kanye. Oh, geez. I kind of was kind of wondering. I kind of want to see what DeSantis and Newsom would look like. Like, what would it look like with those two going at it for an election? I mean, I feel like that would be like kind of an interesting thing to watch them. Like, how would they handle each other, and debate each other?
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Yeah, I don't know, but I don't know. But I don't. Oh, go ahead.
I've found when I've contacted my representatives about the situation of men entering women's spaces and things like that, that they just come out, oh, I support the LGBTQ, or I'm gay, or I go, I didn't ask you that. I asked you about women's privacy. They never answer my question. It's just so off-putting that they don't read the question. I support the LGBTQ. Well, what about women? You don't support women?
Yeah, that's what we need to start maybe doing, asking them, okay, I understand that you support the LGBTQ. That's great. Do you support women? And then, okay, so what you're telling me is you don't support women's rights. You only support men's rights. Is that what I'm getting? Because it sounds like that's the message you're trying to tell me without saying it. I just want to know if I should tell all my feminist buddies not to vote for you.
Exactly. But I've had this conversation with in emails with several different representatives, and it's just like, I do it anyway just to see what comes back, and what comes back is always like that. I support the LGBTQ. And because they get that rainbow money, they kind of have to say it, I guess.
I like that rainbow money. But you know what? Even the gay people are sick of the trans people in their group. Even they're getting sick of it. So I was like,
and then one of my representatives is gay, and I'm going, why isn't he sick of it?
Maybe that's something you start asking too. Oh, okay. So are you saying that you don't support the LGBTs who are getting infringed upon by the T's or harassed by the T's, that they have to be straight. What are you saying? You stand for the T's that are trying to convert the LGBs? Because I don't know. I don't really find that in the LGB rights when you do that kind of stuff.
No.
Like, oh, what about the T's who go after the other T's? Like, so, like, do you support the T's that go after like Blair White and people like that? So, do you? I guess I'm going to call them self-hating T's if they're going after their own side. Do you support the self-hating T's? I mean, what do you support?
They only support people who hand them the cash. Maybe
Yeah.
that's the only way we're going to get out of here is if we hand them cash. We might have to look into that.
Jeez, yeah. You know, and I feel like I'm sitting going, I feel like that's illegal. I feel like being able to bribe a politician falls under that illegality.
No, it's not illegal. Trust me.
What call? I'm not talking about what country are you in? Costa Rica? Costa Rica? Or
Yeah,
Argentina?
well, I do it all the time. You know, it's definitely legal.
Wait, Cole, where are you in again? Is it Argentina or like Costa Rica? I can't remember which one.
Look, for safety reasons, I'm in Mexico.
You liar. How dare you besmirch my country? My ancestors' origin.
How safe is Mexico these days?
Cool.
Cole?
Yeah.
How safe is Mexico these days?
How safe is Mexico?
Yeah, how safe is Mexico?
Okay, well, I'm not actually in Mexico, but I would imagine 50-50, or maybe 60-40, I don't know, but I'm going to tell you, the country I'm in, which I won't say, you know, so the cartel doesn't go after me, I would say it's actually pretty damn safe, probably like the safest country out of this region, probably like, yeah, no more dangerous than just like some parts of like the U.S. I would say.
Cool. I'm going to send you.
Sounds nice then.
Cool. I'm going to send you something, and then I want you to put it up there real quick because it kind of goes along with what we were just saying.
Sure.
Hold on. There we go. Okay, I'm sending it to your Discord.
All right.
Do you have it?
Oh my god.
Okay, so
yeah,
do the share.
That basically like sums up, you know, what you think about the country I'm in, and then reality as well.
Okay, there we go. So there you go. So, oh wait, did it add it? There you go. Yeah. I just love that one. I mean, just like it's like, ooh. And I don't know, YouTube purposes. I'm half Mexican YouTube, so come at me. Anyways, so you know,
yes,
of course.
And I'm also part Irish, so you can't attack me because I'm the most depressed group.
I thought that's just because you were Canadian. You're also the most kicked around group.
Yeah, well, trust me, our military is really good. It's going to get the job done.
When you guys ever use it? How often have you used your military?
I don't know.
Okay, so let's go on to, I guess, Women's International Day. So, Zoe, let's do, I don't know, women in our lives. We want to do real life women first.
Sure.
How we did last time. Okay, so who has been your inspiration in your life?
Well, I skipped 11th grade when I transferred schools, and I started community college when I was young, and I didn't really know what I wanted to major in, and so I kind of took like all the general courses, and I found that there was this one female chemistry teacher. She was really cool, and I really liked her, and so I just kept going with chemistry, and I took all the classes and I transferred, and then as soon as I got over there, there was another female chemistry teacher, Dr. Goldish, and she passed away a couple years ago. But I just found that those women were so inspiring because to have people with doctorates, in STEM was like so huge back then because I'm an older person. But I just really for real life, they were living it, and they came into it, and those jobs had just become available, and they a lot of women weren't even allowed in industry at that point, and I just think that they were real trailblazers.
Wow.
paving the way for future generations. I heard that Dr. Goldish actually, after she got her PhD at Stanford, that she applied for some research and development in like a soap company, and then they renamed the title as Home Ec when she applied for it. It was just so demeaning, and so a lot of them went into education because education was at least a little bit more less backwards. So
That is insane that they would just rename the position. Like,
I know, and so something like Home Ec when someone has a PhD from Stanford in chemistry, it was just crazy,
oh God. You know, it is amazing that like stuff happens. And I do know that there are places where it does happen today. Or even because let's see, back in was it 2010? I think 2010. So 14 years ago, I had a science professor in biology, and I'm going to be really careful I don't start saying names because I will. But like, we'll call her, like, so she was a doctor. She had her PhD, and she was a doctor. And there was a guy professor there who and he taught she would lecture, and then because we had such a big class, they would split us for the labs. So I had him for the labs. But I remember she was telling us, how he would always call her Miss, her last name, instead of Doctor, her last name, and she used to get really irritated. Like, I went through all this, got this educated, went through school and everything, and you can't even just say Doctor. And I'm like, that is like the most passive aggressive thing I can think of someone doing. And she was a smart woman too.
yeah,
Hey,
it's definitely
Pops, how are you
passive
doing?
aggressive.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just ridiculous. So, I mean, it's just like this stuff like that. You're like, wow, really? Really, guys? Cole, you have anybody?
Yeah, for some reason, like, God, with like females, like, God, there's many that like I've loved from things and took inspiration from, but only from like one specific thing. Usually, like for example, like an actress, usually from just like one specific performance, really loved, and then not really much else for some reason. And compared to like male actors and such, for some reason, I think that's just an issue with me, but not remembering. But yeah, I mean, there's some I can think of, like I guess as a hockey fan, I mean, you probably don't know anything about female hockey players, but let's say Haley Wickenheiser, is one I looked up to a lot, watched a lot. It's great. As for like filmmakers or like actresses, possibly, and there are actually two can specifically think of. Actually, I'll screen share this actually. One moment. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I'm using just this film as an example, but yeah, this filmmaker I really love. He's one of the best of all time, and he's made many just incredible films. And he usually has used like these two actresses here, and this is like one of the films where they're both in it. And yeah, they're both just like some of the best actresses of all time, in my opinion. So yeah, there's two there, I guess. Yeah, is there anyone else?
Well, I mean, I think we'll go to categories a little bit later, but like anybody in your like in real life people, like
in real life people,
or in real life or online. I know that I mean, today's day and age, a lot of us just know a lot of people online versus like in real life.
Yeah, no, sadly, no.
What? Me and Zoe don't count?
Well, no, of course you guys count, but that would be the obvious answer. Like, I'm trying to think of like anybody that like would be a surprise. Like, no, pretty much not.
I'm gonna pull Walter and say, "This is my month. This is our month."
Yeah, we might as well have a month. I mean, the trans have 136 days, so why can't we have a month?
Exactly. Oh, yeah. I mean, apparently we share. Have you actually noticed? I feel like it's not as crazy this year as it was last year. Like last year is pretty bad, but I feel like this month they haven't gotten as like I don't know, it's only the 8th of this month, but like I haven't seen it where it's like the Hershey drama like right off the bat. Have you seen anything like that? Except for the Doritos thing. I mean, did they got that guy got yeeted out?
Oh, what was that? I kind of
I mean,
missed
I'm
some of
like,
it.
okay, so remember last year we had the drama with the Hershey's, and then I think there was like a bunch of clothes companies, and then God, Dylan Mulvaney. So I mean, like I feel like this year some of the companies have learned
Yeah,
not to
I
do
think
it as
so
much.
too. It was
I
like
mean,
Rip Curl kind of fixed
yeah,
their stuff, and then yeah, Doritos firing that sicko.
yeah,
And I just say sicko because of what he tweeted. So
yeah,
it's not like I'm a hateful bigot.
yeah. No, and you know, I think people need to see, hey, yeah, he did say. I mean, we obviously don't want to talk about the disgusting things he said on Twitter, but you know, that's why you
Right.
got to vet your people that you guys pick. Um,
Yeah.
I
And
think
like
there
that
was.
Rip
Go ahead.
Curl thing. I mean, that dude was like in his 40s and he just looked so gross and it was just like, oh my God, I just can't even believe they even did that to begin with.
Well, you know what's funny is it's like, okay, so Dove soap. I think they were like one of the ones. I think they were one of the ones who did the whole trans women are women thing. But you know, it's funny how when it's the commercials where it's all like, oh, when they're doing the sports commercials of, you know, when they're doing actually with anything, whenever there's a women with sports, not an empowerment women with sports commercial, like where they're showing strong women and oh yeah, we're so strong because then they'll slip in a guy in one of those. But like one where it's talking about how women feel defeated, you know, like
Hmm.
that, you know, oh, women struggle with self-esteem and they feel defeated in sports or, you know, women's sports help little girls get scholarships and da, 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 da. And without them, then they wouldn't be. So when it's like more of that, oh, look how sad and we need to help this thing. I suddenly noticed that all the trans women are gone. It's like they finally figured out what a woman was. And what a female is and what a girl is during those commercials. Shocking. Because I don't know if it's because like they realized, hey, it would look really bad. Because then the reason why female sports is suffering right now. I don't know if it's because they're like, then they would have that reason in there, you know, if they did. But I just find that like amusing sometimes when when these companies decide and choose, the moments that they choose, like that they know what a woman is, it always cracks me up. Like, oh, suddenly you figured it out.
Yeah.
Um,
But I take that stuff when I go shopping and I decide not to buy certain products because of what they've done.
yeah,
Um, I remember. So,
yeah.
and it's just hurtful that they don't even think about that. I mean, I think with the Dylan Mulvaney thing, they saw like the TikTok numbers but they didn't really think it through.
Yeah, exactly. You know, especially some of these clothing companies. How am I supposed to know what something's going to look on me? Like, I understand, you know, that we're not like women are of all different sizes, but no matter what size a woman is wearing a dress, you can kind of visualize what it would look like on you a little bit. Obviously, you still got to try it on and all that, but you know, can kind of get like a vague idea. It still looks like, oh, that's a really pretty dress. If you see it on a guy and how it hangs on like their angular body, it's
Hmm.
no longer an attractive dress because you're just like stuck looking at this dude in a dress and going, okay, okay,
And you know what the problem is? I used to go to a store on Melrose Boulevard where this guy designed the dresses. He had other designers in there, but he had his own line. And I noticed his dresses were always cut weird. They were like cut for guys. And I didn't say anything, it's like, man, this is really tight in the hips and stuff. There's no room for boobs in here. But and then it just kind of, they could make dresses for men that would look much more attractive on them than them putting a woman's dress on because a woman's dress is not going to fit them right.
yeah. Well, I'm sure they do at the drag stores, or you know, for the drag queens, because they look like whenever you see drag queens, they look like they are fitted in their clothing.
Right. But you see those guys on Reddit and it doesn't fit at the waist and it doesn't fit in the hips and it doesn't fit in the boob area.
And then my favorite is, and then they get mad, like I can't believe all these dresses, all these women's clothes are made for cis women. Like probably because women's clothes are made for women. You guys stop to think about that because I feel like you didn't.
they really need to focus on brands for men's dresses, and break out that way. And because I think it's just cut different. And I think what my friend did was he didn't have a model try on dresses, and he is the one who tried on his dresses. And I'm sure it happens. And but yeah, I think that they really should, get their own manufacturer, because men's hips are just slimmer, and their chests are wider, and you always see them complaining about women's sizes being too small for them.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. Or they cram themselves into it and then go, and then you're just like, oh gosh, that is just like the ma'am guy. What was it? It's ma'am. I mean,
oh yeah, he's wearing Britney Spears' old outfit from 20 years ago.
I mean, that's the other thing. I'm like, why are you wearing outfit? Okay, to me, when you can't even dress your age, that's telling me something. It's not like, oh, I really am just this. Well, then how come you're not dressing your age? You should be still dressing your age, even if you want to dress a different gender. You think that you would be dressing, an appropriate outfit for a 40-year-old. I wouldn't even have worn that at 20.
Right. That's the thing. It's like they dress like what they're attracted to. And that's why you see them dressed as children, dressed as 20-year-old Britney Spears, and dressed as a grandma. It's like you got 3 different ones, and then the pregnant one.
You can see the bonus one dressed as their wife. I guess that one too.
Right. Yeah, and the thing is, there's a lot of them that kind of transitioned into their wife. I saw one today that transitioned into his mom.
Oh my God, that's creepy.
I know. Yeah. I'll send you the video later, but dead ringer for his mom. But yeah, I think there's, they want to wear someone else's clothes or skin or something. It's just kind of crazy. And especially if you're married to someone and they, are wearing you out in public.
God, that would be so, like, I mean, I don't even know if really, I mean, at that point, I feel like really, can love even be enough? I mean, I'm laughing because like, I can't ever imagine. I know for a fact Jaden would never do that. One, because he would be 6 feet under if he ever did that to me. But like, and what do I have to say, Cole, in Minecraft? But two, it's like, I can't, like, it just doesn't, like, it's like, how do you go from like a guy who looks like a man, and you've been with this guy this whole time who's a man's man,
right? And he's fathered kids, and
yeah,
he wore a suit to your wedding,
yeah,
and he's got a beard. So,
yeah, he's never like showed any. Yeah, he's never showed any signs, and then just one day, okay, I want to be a woman. You're like, wait, what?
It's definitely porn, and from the guys I knew, like the ex I dated, and my coworkers, it's definitely a porn influence. They want to be sexualized, and they think becoming a woman will help that, and I think that's the farthest thing that's going to help.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and then also because like a lot of people who actually do suffer from gender dysphoria, like it's like they said, like, I mean, one, they're like usually the first ones to say not to do anything to children, like don't influence them, let them grow up, don't be telling them about this kind of stuff because they don't need to worry about it. But like even they, like, they'll know something's off, but they like figure out a little bit, like they don't, they're not at 80 coming out and realizing they had gender dysphoria. They're like a lot younger, and it's usually like, and when they become an adult, they're able to verbalize it, but like they knew that there was something up before them. But and then obviously they also usually have other mental illnesses, but like, it's not like this 40-year-old, they're not 40-year-olds who watch a lot of porn who go, oh, you know what, I feel like a woman. I mean, like, that's not that. That's that AGP category, but that is not gender dysphoria.
Yeah.
And there's no arousal getting dressed in the opposite sex's outfit, too. So there's no arousal for them. Blair White's not getting aroused, guys, over that. So if you're getting like all excited, hot and bothered because you're in women's clothing, you need to really look into more of like the sexual disorders than really the other ones.
It's crazy. Like there was that one guy who was arrested last week, and he was what was he arrested for? He had ejaculated on one woman in a park, but then he was caught with child porn. That's what it was. He was in a women's restroom taking video. and they went to his house and they found child porn. But he'd ejaculated on a woman in a park like 6 months ago,
Oh my God.
and he has like all these paraphilias. And then when he was in the bathroom, he said he was a trans woman. And they said, "Oh no, he was faking." I go, "What? He has all these other paraphilias. Why can't he be trans? I'm sure he has women's clothes at home." I mean, if you're ejaculating on someone in a park, who knows what else you're doing? And you're videoing women in a restroom. I mean, I don't think cross dressing is that far to go.
Yeah, well, and that's the other thing. I'm like, okay, this is why we have the women's and the men's separated. And you guys are like going, no, they don't even have to try. They don't have to put effort. They don't even have to pretend. They don't
I
have to
know.
do anything. They just get to walk in. I'm like,
They just get to walk in.
make the men's bathroom the one that's the community toilet then. One,
Yes.
they have a shorter line half the time. But two, you know,
Right. They have a shorter line because they don't have to have all the kids. They have larger bladders. And so here we are at the women's room. We have smaller bladders. We have all the kids. Of course, we have a line. And now we have all the dudes coming in there too, taking photos.
you know, I mean, yeah, and like, and then you gotta think of like the moms, the pregnant women whose bladders always getting pressed on, you know, when they're
Right.
later on in their pregnancy, so they gotta go. You have, you know, mothers who've gone through pregnancy and now, you know, have a little bit of a weaker bladder, so they definitely have to go too. And instead, it's like, nope, hold on, we gotta wait for the feelings brigade. They get to go too.
Oh my gosh. It's just nuts. And the thing is, like, women have health issues, like, unintended things and accidents, and no one wants a man there for that kind of thing. I just can't even. They have no idea what it's like to be a woman.
Yeah, exactly. Or my favorite, handing out the women's products. I mean, like, if I'm at 34, I don't want to be offered that on the street. You think a 12-year-old wants to be offered that? You think a child, like a girl just starting to go through puberty, wants to be offered that? No. Like, what's wrong with you people?
Yeah, there's definite issues there.
You know, it is. I mean, and I'll go pick on some of the red pillars too, because I mean, they say some stupid stuff too lately, like that. You're sitting there going, "Wait, what did you say?" Like, I just feel like people don't know women. They don't know women. They don't understand them, and maybe that's why all this like weirdness is coming out. Like, someone had posted a picture, and it was like on like what all these like trans women look like, and it was all like, you know, basically all the fetishes guys have. And I'm going, wow, the ideal woman for both the trans women and the red pillars are like the same type of woman, apparently, like a bimbo.
Yeah. Yeah, real women don't exist in their world.
Yeah. You know, real women in all our bodily functions do not exist, you know, apparently.
Women exist.
Oh. Shut up, Cole, the women are talking. Oh, I wish that we could take that clip that we had for what was it, for Black History Month. I wish we could take that. I don't know if you ever saw that clip, but it's like this guy telling this girl to move out the way. And he goes, "It's Black History Month." And I'm like, we didn't get one. We're like, no, it's Women's History Month. Move out the way. Colette. Cole, I was gonna almost tell you to do that, so I like that you did that without me even having to say it. I love it. Yeah. So, do you watch Brittany Benty? Have you ever heard of her, Zoe? Have you ever heard of Brittany
No.
Benty? Oh my gosh, she's so funny. But if you ever get a chance, you gotta watch her, because some of the stuff she says, I mean, she's pretty like blunt and straightforward, but like she like had some really great like points, and it was just like she was getting after like the guys who are always like talking about the post wall stuff, and she started bringing up like these celebrity men, like I guess from Harry Potter. And she's all like, "Why do you guys always like basically look like so like, like basically you don't put like, you guys like beauty and all this stuff, like, and then yet you don't even put any effort into your skincare." And she was like totally going into like this stuff. And she's like, "You never see, like she was like going, you know what? You don't see bald women. You want to know why? Because they be putting rose water." She's like, some kind of like, I guess, water thing that helps with hair growth, stimulate hair growth. She's like, a woman who sees a bald spot, she'd be putting that on. That's why you never see like a bald woman. And it was just like, she's getting a wig, she's getting a weave, she's getting something like, like women actually put the effort in. She goes, and here you guys are. You guys are saying this. Like, you know what the problem is? You don't even know what women are. You don't even know women. You don't know women. That's your problem.
Yeah, that's
So,
true.
yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. So I just feel like to both those girls, I'm like, you guys just don't even know women because you guys like you don't even know us. You don't, or the when they were talking about like it was like one guy go, what do women have? What do women bring to the table? And it was funny. She's like, you know what? If you don't know, she's like, you know what? If you don't know what a woman if you don't know what like a feminine woman brings to the table, she's like, oh, then that's like obviously you don't want that because men know, they don't have to ask, they already know, and obviously get to know the person too. I just can't I don't know, I can't. Some days with these people, where they get all like, yeah. Anyway, so I'll get off that tangent. So, I would say real quick for the women, I mean, I don't know. I have a big, crazy family. So I would definitely say, obviously, my mom. And, my mom actually was, she graduated high school. She had me. She's married to my dad. And now, she never went to college. And, yeah, she's worked her way up the top of the ladder back when, could kind of work your way up the ladder. And now she's a co-owner of a company. So, the company that she started out, when she was 19. So,
Yeah, definitely those days are kind of gone. But my neighbor, her grandson, he got when he went to high school, he got a girl pregnant. Anyway, they're still together to this day. It's like 40 years or something like that. And anyway, she worked her way up into a position, and that everyone else has to have a college degree for, but when they were just really motivated to make it work. And I guess it has to be stressful to be that age and have a kid on the way.
Yeah. I can't even imagine, but, I mean, it is, I mean, I said that it's really hard to find places where you can work your way up, but I feel like they should almost bring that back because, I mean, really, do you want the kids that are coming out of college right now?
No.
Yeah. What's so depressing is like some of this stuff, like reading, like, I don't know, reading, I call it the sensitivity classes. But the whole the stuff you have to take now for jobs where they make you take a sensitivity class, and you go through it, and they're so like there's no, hey, even if you don't believe this, you still can't like challenge someone's beliefs on this. There's none of that. It's just even if you don't believe this, then you're wrong. It's still this, and you're sitting there going, "What do you mean I'm wrong? What happened to Like, and it's basically the whole gender thing and all this. And then, it's talking about your rights. And I'm going, well, I feel like you're trampling on my sex-based rights here, guys, by telling me I have to do this and share this and I have to be comfortable with this.
That sure did explode from when it started, like in the early 90s. I mean, when they had sensitivity training, and that was like just not have like the half-naked Budweiser calendar on your desk, It sure did explode from there.
Oh, yeah. And not only that, but it's like almost like too, where it's like, oh, even if the person, like, so even if you're just talking with someone and the person you're talking to isn't offended by the joke, and let's say they fall into that category, if someone who doesn't fall into that category walks by and hears it, they could be offended on that person's behalf who's not offended. I mean, that's where it gets weird. It's like, okay, how can you be offended on my behalf?
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just, I don't know. It's just weirdness that's going on. I feel like, but yeah, so, I was, another one would be my grandmother who passed. Oh, well, I'm actually two. One passed away, and she was a widow, and had like 3 boys and 1 daughter. And I think, I know my aunt was like kind of already old enough and kind of out of the house, but like, the younger 3 were still pretty. I know my dad was 6. And I think my uncle might have been 2 or 4. I can't remember how old he was. And then I think my other uncle was like maybe 12. And, So I mean, so when she was raised him on her own, and so I mean, I can't imagine how difficult that would have been. And my other grandma, I know that she told me a story like when she was in high school that I guess she had like she got was really good at math or something, and she did like good on this one test, and then like the teacher told her, he's like, oh, like basically he's like, well, I'm not gonna, he's like, basically the grade was, she got it right to where she should have had an A. She should have got an A because she got everything right. But because he had never given a girl an A before, he gave her a B.
Oh,
I can't believe, weird stuff like that. Like, used to be a thing. Hey, Mr. Toker. And then, hey, Bob, how you doing? Like, it's weird to think that stuff used to be like, it's like you could do that. And she's like, and I was like looking at her and she was laughing. I'm like, oh my gosh, that was funny. I'm like, wait, that's funny. And then later she's like, yeah, some teacher dated, one of the teachers was dating one of the girls from the school, and that was normal. And I'm just like, how is that? Like, how is that okay? Like, it's just weird to think that, you could date a high schooler. She didn't even have to be of age.
I know, it's crazy. When I transferred to a private school when I was in 6th grade, there was another girl there. We had the exact same birthday. We were the exact same age, but she was a year ahead of me. Anyway, she wound up getting married she was in 7th grade, and she wound up getting married to the English teacher. This was a private school. I mean,
oh my gosh.
I know. And, I remember her because we had the same birthday. And it's like, oh my God. Oh, I mean, and that was like in the late 70s. So
oh my gosh.
I know. So crazy. But you think that stuff doesn't happen, but I'm sure it still happens to this day. I mean, you see all these teachers getting arrested.
Oh yeah. Did you see those teachers who were doing that weird armpit thing?
Oh no, I missed that one.
Oh God, it's disgusting.
What's that?
Oh gosh, it was so gross. It was like, actually, these teachers should be arrested. It's not even just like, oh, it's a scandal. I'm like, no. There are parents complaining about this. How did these people not already get arrested for this? But they're having the kids do this, oh, we're doing a competition thing or whatever, a school assembly, and the kids were licking peanut butter off these teachers' feet and armpits.
Ew. Oh, yeah, I think I saw the toe sucking. Kids sucking. Yeah, kids were sucking teachers' toes and stuff. It was just like, oh my God. It was terrible.
What was the lesson supposed to be?
I think it's supposed to be okay. So like, I don't know if it's like for Spirit Week. I guess I don't know if it's like it's just like hard to even say. I'm old. I remember back in the day when for Spirit Week we'd all wear a color associated with our grade, and we all try to line up to see who got the biggest line, or we decorate something. I don't know, like it during Spirit Week, or the student, or watching, what was it, like the teacher softball games. Dressed up. I don't recall like having to do anything weird like this for bonding.
And they had video of that too. And it's like, oh my God, I can't even watch this.
It is disgusting. And why are these teachers still not arrested? I feel like that's got to like, it's got to fall under some category. But Cole?
Yeah, no, that is definitely that definitely falls under some category. I forgot like what they call it. I don't know. Would you call it like sexual abuse? Would you call it like grooming? Like what would you call it?
Oh, definitely put it up there with grooming for sure.
Yeah, I'd definitely call it grooming. I mean, here, kids, come suck my toes. I mean, who does that?
I mean, and then to be the teacher, like, so, some teachers would be like, well, it wasn't me, it was the assembly. I would voted for it. I'm like, if I was voted for something like that, like, yeah, I'm calling the cops, guys. I'm calling the cops. How did this even get into here? Because like, no one in their right mind is okay with that. And then it was multiple teachers in front of each other on top of it. So again, even if you're not a teacher participating in it, how did you not go, you know what, guys, I'm calling the cops. I don't even care.
I mean, the sad thing is you just have to be aware of your kids' teachers, and what's going on in their school.
Oh, yeah, Bob, this happened in Oklahoma. I don't even know how that happens in Oklahoma, but it happened in Oklahoma. I would have been more... California, okay. Not that it's okay, but I would say, okay, California's really far gone. I understand that it happened here. Yeah, exactly, Michael. But how do you have, why Oklahoma? What is going on with you, red states? Get it together.
That's crazy.
I know.
You
I'm
can
just
always
like,
move here.
Cole, you saw that meme.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. It's I guess it is a bit of news along with how old were the kids? The kids were like high schoolers. I think they were like probably anywhere between 15 to 18, I would assume,
Jesus,
right?
yeah, that's jail. Holy fuck.
Yeah,
Yeah,
even if
that
you're,
should be jail.
yeah.
God, yeah, that gives me just bad flashbacks to high school as well. God, there's so many teachers that was just. God, I remember there was just like this one who would always wear like a Call of Duty beanie. And it's like he was just such a creep. It's like he would always try to like look down female students like shirts and stuff, and then he would try to like bring them in during lunch alone.
Oh, jeez. And then where are these other teachers who are seeing this? Like, oh, okay, I didn't see it. Like,
Yeah, it's crazy, but I mean, at least things have kind of gotten better for women up until like about 10 years ago. But my grandma, she got married at 12, and then my mom got married at 15. And you know, it's really tough because a lot of girls still wind up, getting married, before they're 18. And I don't understand why they let that happen. It should never happen.
yeah. I mean, it is weird because I do feel like you said, like, it was like, well, we were doing pretty good. And then, I don't know, we went sideways. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, we were doing pretty good.
Yeah, you're fine. I'm like, we were fine. We were great. And then boom. I'm like, okay. Thanks, guys. I guess we have something to fight for. I guess, I thought we were done. And no, I guess not. Thanks, everybody. Jeez.
Yeah, we came a long way, and now we're on our way back.
Exactly. I'm gonna make our trek back, and then now it's all, gosh. I mean, like, even like the stereotype stuff is, coming back where it's like, well, like the whole, oh yeah, like what is it? Oh God, I was told so many things. Oh, what was I told? You don't act like a woman. You don't talk like a woman. You don't think like a woman. Like, yeah, but I'm still a woman. So what are you gonna do about it?
Yeah, lots of stereotypes.
Yeah. Or now, oh my God, my favorite is like the guys we're talking about where they're like, because I think some of the red pill guys have actually talked, which makes me just think some of you guys are just closeted. I just want you to know some of you are probably closeted because of some of the stuff you guys say. But like when they'll talk about like, well, they wear more dresses and wear more makeup than, actual women. And I'm like, well, yeah, but that's because they have to. We don't, because we wake up this way. We wake up women. We don't have to do anything. We don't wake up men. That's the difference here.
I know. I think they probably should get with the trans women, because
yeah, it's everything they ever wanted, and since they're so grossed
everything they
out
ever wanted, and
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and then they're so grossed out by females and everything that women go through. Well, hey, there you go. It's a perfect thing. It's a man dressed like a woman. Your favorite.
yeah,
Leave us alone.
Yeah, it's crazy, but I mean, about International Women's Day, are we going to talk about any more women, like TV stars or famous people, or?
Yeah, let's talk about some. I gotta say, I gotta hand it to Taylor Swift. Even if I'm not like a fan of her music, I do like that she puts her money where her mouth is, and like there's been plenty of times where she's, she'll pay her like workers, and then she's like helped out and donated money to help like places, like legitimate places. So I give it to her on I do want to give it to her on charity work, and I got to give it to J.K. Rowling, even though, I know we had a pretty big differences of opinion on certain things, like with immigration. However, I do admire the fact that she did not bow down or kowtow to the cult that came after her when she was sticking up for women. And she is another one who put her money where her mouth is. So, what about you? What about you, Zoe?
Oh yeah, JK. I mean, I remember when she first came out, and I was probably past that age, but everyone was reading those books, and she was hated by the right, and then now she's hated by the left. But I really appreciate, that she's so eloquent when she writes about it. She doesn't mince words. I mean, she says what she means. I mean, even calling India Willoughby a man, she just did it the right way. I mean, she could have just said, "You're just not a woman," um, and that would have maybe got the point across. But definitely, she's very eloquent. And when she first came out for women, I mean, I was so stoked. I mean, it was finally like it seemed like we were like idling and idling and idling and not getting anywhere. And then finally, she came, and because no one ever listens to women, it's just like these men come out and say, "Oh, these men are winning women's sports," but we've been talking about it for years, but no one paid attention. So you always have to have a big audience.
Mhm.
So yeah, I definitely appreciate her. And then I'm a big fan of Britt Marling. I don't know if you know who she is, but she's an actress and she also writes television shows. And she always tries to have a female lead that isn't, overly sexy and is strong, and they're just really well written.
Mhm.
Um, so I really like that because I think it's really hard, because she tried to become an actress in Hollywood. All the parts were for like big bosom girlfriend. That was all the parts. And her mom even tried to talk to her into a boob job so she could get a part. And
Oh,
she goes, "No,
jeez.
mom, I'm going to write my own stuff." But
You see,
mom
well,
was just trying to help.
but I like that. I like it when, instead of, it's like, and that's what I do. I do like when women do this. It's like when instead of complaining and getting going, oh, it's not fair, like they get up and do something. I feel like sometimes like that's just what we need to do. Sometimes it is just, okay, you know what? We're going to get up and do it. Like I do like the women that were in the UK. Like a lot of those women, I feel like the same with where they started going, you know what? If you're not going to let us have women's groups, like sanctioned group, we'll just start our own women's groups. And you're not invited in. I love that there were women that just went out. You know what? If I can't have it, then I'll just go and do it myself. I love when women do things like
Right, and
that.
she even did that. She went down to the LA library every day and started reading on how to write scripts and stuff like that. And she was there every day until she got it done. I mean, and that's what you have to do. I think you have to kind of get away out of your house and just focus on doing it.
Yeah, exactly. Um, and I'm trying to think of any more celebrities. I know there's been quite a few celebrities. Now there's like quite a few female celebrities who've come out. Um, really kind of pushing back against this. I mean, I gotta say, like Riley Gaines, there's like a lot of sports um, women too coming out and pushing back. I think the one who played pool, I think, came out and she was like, uh, she forfeited, or I think she forfeited, so that she wasn't going to play against a trans woman in a woman's
Right.
sport. So it's her. Uh, Same with the other one who was boxing. That one should have been illegal. That really should have been illegal to
Yes.
not even put her in
That
harm's way.
is
Like,
so
uncle,
dangerous.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, especially not knowing, because I think if you had known, if let's say she still went through with the fight and she knew, you know that you at least have that awareness of, okay, this isn't going to be the same type of punch or grip or anything like that. You know.
Yeah. And then all the guys who participate in that, and they never have their social media open because they know they're doing wrong. They know people are going to come over there and give them a piece of their mind.
Yeah, exactly. And then it's disgusting that they're like, so like, I think they, for some reason, they think like, oh, I transitioned, so now I can hit, sometimes I do think they're like, oh, I can do this. And it's okay. And like, no, it's not. But then like they'll say that kind of stuff. They get like really aggressive, but then yet words hurt them. Like, okay, well, how come you think it's okay to threaten to physically harm women because you don't like what they say, but words hurt you? How do words hurt more than like fists? Somebody explain that to me.
It doesn't make any sense.
Because it's like a stab in my heart.
That reminds me of that SpongeBob, the Valentine's Day one, when Patrick
Mhm.
goes, "You broke my heart. Now I'm gonna break something." Of course. What about you, Cole? Do you have anybody? I know you kind of went over some celebrities, but do you have any other kind of celebrities or
Yeah, I
sports
mean,
stars?
I'm sure if I researched, then yeah, but sadly off the top of my head, no. I know like Audrey Hepburn and Grace Kelly are two other actresses I really respect, but yeah, as for like sports or like anyone else, no, not that I can really think of. Sadly, yeah, sadly, don't have like anyone in real life personally that I know. So
You know, me and Zoe.
yeah, but again, you guys are the obvious choice. Just like like ones you wouldn't expect, But yeah, of course you do.
I'm just gonna keep saying that every section. Call like you have me and Zoe. But yeah, so I'm trying to think if there's any other um celebrities that I can think of that uh yeah, I can't think of any other ones.
And there's
I mean,
plenty
I
I'm
know there's
disappointed in.
yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, that's an easy one.
Like Linda
Gosh,
Carter. I used to really love her when I was a kid. Uh,
and gosh, what's that other one? Who's the one who did the Activia yogurt? What's her name?
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah, didn't she come out with her son or something? And
Yeah,
then
her son looks a mess. Looks like he was raised on porn.
he looks like he looks like the Dr. Shart's kids. Like,
He does. I'm sure that she has porn playing in the kids room for them.
Dr. Shart, she had what if the kids are like the 20-something-year-old who acts like the 6-year-old? He's like, Mom, he's in jail.
Luporlina.
Oh gosh, the names crack me up. They like in pancetta. Oh man. Oh, Dr. Shark cracks me up. Like especially with what was her thing? Oh yeah, with her thing with Doctor or not Doctor. Is it Dame Katie?
Katie, yeah.
I wonder if it went down. That was like, oh man, that was
Well,
crazy.
I remember we were in our group and she goes, Katie blocked me, and then I went and looked at their last interaction, and apparently Dame Katie thinks that some people are stealing her stick, and that
Oh,
Dr. Shard is one of them. Because after like their last interaction, she goes, I blocked that person. I'm tired of these people stealing my stuff. And I guess she thinks Roy and Burns steal her stuff too. But I think
but
there's
has it?
plenty of room for everyone.
Oh, Tim, you creep. Go away. Tim, you need to get a life. Like, seriously, go find a girlfriend. I am too old for you and I am taken. Like, go find a girlfriend, Tim. Go find a girlfriend. If everybody's confused by that, I'm gonna retweet that. So that way you guys know why I'm telling Tim to go find a life. There you go. Go get a life. Go outside. Go, I don't know.
Go to
Go
the
create
arcade.
something. Yeah, go. Yeah, go to the arcade. You are seriously not only are you too young for me, but I already have someone. I don't know how many times I have to tell you that. Anyway, so I'm gonna go over segue back over here to Michael. I have one. My mom is the woman I look up to the most. I wouldn't be the man I am today without her. Oh, Michael.
Oh,
Sigourney Weaver is a female actress I respect and appreciate her films. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, she is. Yeah, she is a good actress.
And
Thank
what
you,
about
Michael. That
Jodie
was a good one.
Foster?
And Jodie Foster. I wish I knew more actresses' names. I mean, I wish I knew some of the like. You guys know I'm terrible. I just call people like whatever they look closest to. I call them knock off something. And I know I've told the Woody Harrelson joke enough with Jason, whatever his last name is, being knock off Woody Harrelson. Sorry, guys. It just is. I like that Dallas Bryn. I like her. I think she's like really
Dallas
beautiful.
Howard, you mean?
Thank you. See, Cole, I don't even know. But yeah, I think she's just like as a I still haven't seen Argyle. I know you said it's bad, but I will say that I kind of I think her and Cole, who was the other woman that we did today? We talked about on Barbie.
Margaret Robbie, right?
Yeah. I think they're like two of like, you know, some of them, like two of the like really beautiful women right now in Hollywood. Like, because I feel like, as obviously as people like kind of grow, so we got like our older actresses, and then we got our, I don't know what you call them. What do you call them when they leave their 20s? I don't know what actress age I would call that. Because I feel like you usually get like the actresses in their 20s and then their 30s and 40s is kind of lumped together. I feel like a lot of the times. I would say I do not like this person as a person. So I'm just going to stress this. I do not like her as a person at all. But I will say, like, acting wise, I think she has the best acting range, acting range, hands down. Like, I don't think I've seen a movie where she hasn't been great in. And I'm usually someone where if I don't like you, I can't stand your movies. And actually, she breaks that on this one. But I would say Angelina Jolie. I think she just is a phenomenal actress.
Oh yeah, I would agree. I definitely think that growing up in Hollywood, I guess her dad was kind of weird and stuff, so I'm sure it's tough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It has to be difficult to be in the spotlight and all that.
Oh yeah. 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 Yeah, I agree. And then,
you know who Bridget Fonda is?
Bridget Fonda.
She was an actress from like the 90s.
I don't think I know. I don't. Maybe I'd recognize her.
She was on a lot of Quentin Tarantino films and stuff like that. Anyway, she did a lot of films back then. She worked in a lot of films. And then when she got married to Danny Elfman, she wasn't in movies anymore. And then I saw a picture of her. Now she's like I guess she's like 60 or something like that. And she just looks like an everyday old lady. And it was just like, oh my gosh, I can't even believe it, because she hasn't been in the public eye in like decades. But she was like a Margot Robbie. She was super hot, and she was in all these movies, and I think she was like Peter Fonda's daughter or something like that.
Wow, you weren't kidding. She does look just like a normal lady.
Yeah, she's like a normal lady. But
that's like
yeah, when she was younger, she was like wearing all these teeny tiny clothes, and but now she's just like a normal mom, grandma type thing. So I guess it's hard for us to see people as humans sometimes,
Yeah, I guess it is. I mean, I guess there's like the pros and cons to being famous, where you're always under that like the public's like eye, and again we're like, what, you got old? And like, yes, I did age. I am human. And I want to give it to Sally Field though, because I think she's few actresses are able to keep doing roles. I think as they get older, a lot of the times they just want to kind of keep replacing them. So I would say I do want to give some points to Sally Field, and there's like another one. I always get her mixed up with I always get her and Glenn Close mixed up, and I know.
Meryl Streep.
Thank you, Cole. You're so good at this, Cole. Yeah, I think Meryl Streep is good. And then what was the other one that's in 1883 with Harrison Ford?
Oh, it was
Helen Mirren.
Oh yeah, Helen Mirren.
Yeah, so I think it's kind of like great to see that they're when you see the actresses where they're able to actually keep going even into their older age, that's really cool, because usually you don't see a lot of that. You'll see it with like the guys, a lot, because they'll still pair like old dudes with like the young chicks,
right.
Which is just kind of funny. I mean, that is interesting, and I wonder if sometimes that does cause. Not so much for women, I think, because we realize, I would hope that we'd realize, okay, just because it's like that in Hollywood doesn't mean that's going to translate to real life. But I wonder if like some of these like knuckleheads who are like in their early 20s think, oh, well, when I'm like ancient, I can get a young chick too. I'm like, okay, are you in a movie? No, you're not in a movie right now. You're a real person living real life. But on top of that too, like, are you a millionaire? Do you have a lot of money? Then no. The chances of you getting someone significantly younger than you are slim to none. Especially because you have a bad personality. I mean, you have a bad personality,
Well, you know why those movies are like that? It's because they're written by men.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean,
I feel like,
I do think it's. Oh, sorry.
go ahead, Cole.
Oh, no, I was just saying. I do think it's kind of changing a bit as well now. At least like they're doing it with older female actresses too now in those roles. With like younger male actors. So.
Oh, I don't like that either. That creeps me out too. I'm sitting here in an age gap relationship.
Yeah, like what was the one I watched recently? It was some film with like Olivia Colman and some person who was like 28 or something.
Oh, jeez. See, I don't know. That's just weird to me. Like, why would you? Okay, I understand when it's for the plot. Okay, when there's like something for the plot, like you want, James Bond being always with the younger woman. That makes sense to me, because he's supposed to be like the cool guy, always like the spy doing, okay, fine. But he's in shape at least. Not like in some of these sitcoms where you see like giant, unattractive dude with like this cute little tiny thing, and you're kind of going, okay, well, that's not realistic. The guy doesn't even make any money. I'm trying to now making women out to sound
like that movie Shop Girl. I forget who the actress was, but Steve Martin was this old guy, and he saw this little girl in the shop, and I think it was Claire Danes. And it's just like that never happens in real life. She would never give him the time of day.
Exactly. And I'm not trying to say like anytime you see an older person with a younger person, both of legal age, I'm gonna put that out there, that it automatically means like, there's like a money thing or something like that. I'm not trying to say that, but I'm just saying like, a lot of the times there is though. A lot of the times you're gonna see like, okay, because I don't want people sitting there thinking, oh, this is realistic, because it's not. Most people just want to find someone their own age, or at least close to their own age. They're not really, like don't get your hopes up, guys that are in their 40s. They're really, there's really not many 20-something-year-olds who are going to be interested, So I don't know. I guess that's just my my piece of advice for some people. Like, Hollywood isn't real. I think that's the other thing, is that sometimes people forget that Hollywood is not real. It's fake. It's fantasy. Yes, Cole.
That's true.
Oh, what? Sorry, what?
Oh, I thought you were going to say something.
Oh no, I was just like more so thinking when you said that about all the scandals in Hollywood. Like, yeah.
Okay, let's move away from Hollywood. So, are there any women throughout history? What about any women throughout history that inspired you?
Well, that female pope. After I found out about the female pope.
There's a female pope?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I did it on the conspiracy stream one time where this woman, it was like around the 1400s, something like that. They found out that she wasn't a man because she gave birth.
So you mean to tell me the 1400s, they understood the concept of if a man gave birth, it was a woman, but today we're confused by that.
Yeah, and I guess it was on the way to some religious function, and now the Pope never goes down that street because that's where it happened, and they tried to cover it all up.
That's so weird. That's an interesting one. How do you not know? I'm sorry. Like, I guess
They said back then, the robes that the clergy wore, they didn't show off your figure, and and apparently if you were having a baby, the robes covered that up too.
Jeez, it's like reminds me of those like stories where those like teens hide their pregnancy, and then like they'll go to the doctor. They have to get rushed to the hospital. The parents will rush them to the hospital, and they have like appendicitis, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh no, she's just having a kid. And you're like, wait, what? How did this happen? You hid this from me for 9 months. Those are always like insane stories too, like where like the kid I'm like, and part of me feels like, okay, child, you knew you were going to have this kid. Why did you not tell your parents? Like, they were going to find out. The kid can't stay in there forever. Like, that's always like incredible to me. Like, and I'm not talking about the ones who do really terrible things, to their baby. I'm just talking about like the ones who like, well, they had every intention of having their baby. They just like, you know, I'm not talking about like the ones who go and put their and bury their child. You're trying to do something terrible like that, or you know, put them in the garbage. I'm not saying those kind of girls. That's a story for a different. That's like a whole other issue. I just mean like the ones where it's like, oh, I'm pregnant, but I don't want to tell my parents I'm pregnant, but I'm gonna, you know, oh, hey, Poppy, thank you for like stopping by. He said, wait, it's International Women's Day. Should I make a video on it? No, you shouldn't. That's why I didn't invite you. Aw.
That actually happened in my ex-husband's family. Was his niece was pregnant at 16, and he was back there, which was Ohio, visiting. And then the next week she gave birth. He goes, I saw her last week. She didn't look pregnant. But anyway, she had lined up a family to adopt her baby, and she hadn't told any of her family. But her family was upset. They didn't want a family member being given away, so her mom wound up adopting the baby.
Did they do the whole like where, oh, this is like, you know, when they used to send the girls? Yeah.
Yeah. So they did that. And then they named the baby after me.
They did?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that's
Actually,
cool.
they named it another name first, and then they called me and told me they decided to name it after me. So.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's so.
But
that's
yeah,
so
I guess it happens. You know, people get in trouble and they want to try to make the best of it. And you know, she had done like I guess everything that she thought was right, except for telling her parents. You know, she didn't tell her parents, and then you know she had a family lined up, and I'm sure they were disappointed. So.
Well, I mean, but yeah, like you said, she did everything right. So that was good that she, you know, made sure that her baby was healthy. Or, you
Right.
know,
Well, I don't know exactly how healthy it is if you're trying to hide it, because I guess you're not gaining
that's
enough
true.
weight. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, that too. I guess. Yeah, I didn't think of it that way. But
I've seen her on TikTok and stuff. She looks healthy, so must have all worked out.
yeah. So let's see. Shoot, I was trying to think. Oh, oh my gosh, there actually are like so many women throughout history that we could talk about. You know, Molly Pitcher. I know that there was like attributed to, was it Mary May? I gotta look it up. I can't remember her name. I know that was her Mary Hayes. Okay. But I know that there's like a couple other women they think that might be attributed to, where she was the one who helped with I think it was like handled the cannons after her husband had fallen in battle. So I always thought that was pretty, you know, it was pretty
wow.
hardcore. Yeah, she's pretty. Before then, she was Molly Pitcher because she had like the water pitchers to help the men cool down, you know, so they could drink, and then she would pour it on the can to get kind of cool down the artillery and stuff. But then, yeah, when he had fallen in battle or injured in battle, then she was like, all right, nope. And it's like, it shows her. And then there's a painting of it too, where the husband's lying on the ground and she's like already like, you know, doing totally like going at it with the pipe cleaner on the cannon, like loading it and everything or whatever it is. So I was like, I'm like, wow, that's pretty hardcore, you know? So.
Oh yeah.
That, not to mention there've been so many female spies. And then, you know, I wrote her name down so I wouldn't forget. I think this was during World War II. So, shoot. Of course, my phone is going to act stupid right now. What is her name? Oh, I'm not going to pronounce that. I'm just going to say it's Esther Glickstein Rose, I think. Oh no, this is another one. Okay, so hold on. This is like, oh, I'm so glad. Okay, so that was just the woman who came up with the name for the Big Mac. I always thought that was funny. That was like a 21-year-old secretary came up for the name for the Big Mac when all these guys were trying to come up with these crazy names. She's like, well, how about the Big Mac? And then they didn't want to give her credit for it, but then they eventually did acknowledge it was her. I'm like, kind of, come on, guys, don't be like fools. But yeah, I thought that was kind of a cool story. But there was like a spy. What was her name? I'm gonna look her up. What was this? It was like a spy in World War II, and I think she had like a cheetah or something. Mm-hmm. And then what was? Let's see if it pulls up.
I mean, there were multiple.
Agent Josephine. Her name was Josephine. She had like a pet cheetah, and I think she was like a dancer or something, but she would carry like secret notes on like with invisible ink or something on her paper. So she would help that way. So I thought that was kind of cool that was, I just wanted to mention her. So, anybody else? Anybody throughout history?
I mean, serious answer or joking answer?
Serious answer, Colette.
Okay. Yeah, I would have said Elizabeth Bathory, but okay.
You don't have a serious answer? Like, you can't even come up with one, Cole.
No, again, I'm sure like after the stream, then I'll remember a bunch and be like, why didn't I think of that? But just on the spot, no. Let's see.
You can name me or Zoe. We're part of history right now.
God, I mean, how old does it have to be? Just like,
I don't care how old. It doesn't matter. It could even be like recent history.
I see. Okay. Yeah, I'm just curious. What did Mother Teresa do again?
I think she hung out in India and helped people there.
Are you still there, Cole?
Yeah, I'm still there. I'm just trying to think. I mean,
well, no, but that's a good one. That is a good one. Mother Teresa is a great one.
Yeah, right. You did mention Eleanor, right?
Eleanor?
Yeah.
I don't. Did I mention an Eleanor? No. I mean, I might have. Refresh my memory.
I was like Eleanor of Aquitaine, if that's how you pronounce it, in France.
Oh, I didn't mention her. Go ahead, mention her, because I don't think I mentioned her.
Oh, it was the wife of like King Louis the Sixth, I believe. Yeah. I was just, God, I don't know what she actually did. I was just curious because I was searching up, trying to look for certain figures possibly, or to refresh my memory, and that's the one that like pops up the most. So I'm just wondering what she did, but damn. Yeah, so sorry for just like going off topic here.
No, you're not off topic. You're talking about a woman in history. You're good.
Okay.
But yeah, I would say, Betty Cronin. I think that was her name. And I always thought this was interesting that she was the one who helped make, I think it was like the first TV dinner, but it was because she was a bacteriologist. I hope I pronounced that right. And I think it was like either the 50s or 60s. It was like it was like a while back. I'm just gonna look her up. I thought I had some of these screenshots, and so I wouldn't yeah, okay, so it must have been the 50s, I think. So she was the one who I think it was Swanson or something. One of the companies had bought too many turkeys by mistake because they were like, oh, we made a lot of money off of turkey dinners. So the guy who was taking over, I think for his father, was like, oh, I'll do even better. I'll buy double the thing, or he did something like that, and then didn't realize, oh, you don't like do it that way. So that way it would have been like there would have been like a whole you couldn't keep a turkey that long. And then even if they could, it was basically he's going to have to buy another batch of turkeys and it would go bad. So he was like, oh, crap, what am I going to do with all these turkeys that I bought? So then they were trying to figure out how to do something or make I think how to keep it. But I think what happened was she was like, okay, like in the group. And then she's like, yeah, if you do that, then and she explained all the bacteria and how disgusting it would be and all that stuff. So he was like, oh, okay. So she's smart. So she worked on the first frozen dinner. So she came up with kind of the recipe for it and then how to freeze it, or not how to freeze it, but she came up with the ideas on how to do that kind of stuff and keep it from being gross. So, and then that revolutionized, everything. Cause then it was supposed to be to give mom a night off, and this is when women were kind of working again. They started kind of more joining the workforce a little bit. And so, which I did want to bring that up. I think it's really weird. I don't think people understand that throughout history, women had been working by their husbands, that That's why they were mom and pop stores. They were out there helping their husband's farm. That's how do you think you have a baby out in the field? How do you think you give birth out in the field? Do you think you give them birth out in the field just for like chicks? No, it's because they're working out in the field and then all of a sudden baby's coming. I mean, come on, guys, get it together a little bit, you know. But women weren't always just at home. They helped their husbands. I'm not saying they didn't do like household and take care of the home as well, but they still worked and helped their husbands. So I don't know why there's that weird like thought pattern that it was like always like the 50s, because it wasn't. That's almost like a luxury. We're moving out from the fields into the house, you know. It's not, you know. And so I don't understand why there's like that weird thought pattern that women just have like not done anything throughout history, not helped. I mean,
really weird.
Yeah, I mean, like we just talked about Molly Pitcher. How come she wasn't at home birthing a child? Why was she out there in the middle of a war helping her husband? Come on. You know, there were female spies back in the day. There were female teachers. You know, I mean, now, of course, the interesting thing about the teachers was apparently you couldn't be married. Which I don't know if that was just like at least for the California or if that was like all over. I just know that there was that those are some of the rules. And then that I guess a lot of the teachers were like they would go through 8th grade and then they would teach, so they were still young, and it was to help their parents with an income, you know, especially in like the lower kind of income areas. So when they were still kind of kids, they were also still helping and raising or teaching the other kids. So I thought that was kind of really interesting piece of history. So there's that. And then I didn't mean to get off topic because I forgot what I was talking about. Oh yeah, Betty Cronin. So yeah, I mean, you know, I thought that was interesting that she was a bacteriologist like back in the 50s, you know. So yeah, does anybody else want to add anybody else to that?
Oh yeah, there's Ada Lovelace. Forgot about her.
So who's she?
She created the first computer program in the world in like the 1840s.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez. How do you even come up with computer programming? That's like still it blows my mind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think my thing's acting fuzzy. I don't know. Maybe I bent the cord too much. So yeah, so is there anybody else that we want to go over? Did I miss a section by any chance? I know we did sports. We did sports. I know we talked about sports, and then we talked about celebrities. And then we talked about some history. Do we even want to go over the political figures?
I don't see anything there.
Yeah, okay, good. I'm like, so you're going, I can't even think of one person that I like. I think there might have been.
What do you mean? There's one person I like.
Cole, is it a joke one or is it a serious one?
I mean, what you don't like Kim Yo Jane?
Cole? Cole. What am I gonna do with you? Oh God. Yes, I thought I was thinking about the political ones, and I thought there was like, you know what? I do have one. Janet Nguyen. I do like Janet Nguyen, so I'll give her. So she's a politician for California. She's pretty outspoken. So, and then there was like one in San Francisco, and I can't remember her name, and she came out in support of Larry Elder to protect the schools. So I thought that was kind of cool to see her. Like there was like a couple that were there were a couple women who were nonpartisan or came out trying to help Larry Elder do like a nonpartisan thing because they were like trying to support the charter schools to help our students. So I do want to give that to them, but I can't think of anybody major that everyone else would know that has that I want to talk about anyways. I can't think of anyone. I mean, I know that there are some good ones out there, but I'm just saying like right now it's just like I can't even think of any really decent male politicians at this moment, to tell you the truth.
That's true.
Yeah. That's true. We're struggling here. I think one of us needs to run. You know what? I'm going to nominate Zoe. I'm going to nominate Zoe for governor, and then she'll be like the politician we talk about next year.
I'll write my name in.
Yeah, exactly. Let's do right in. So So yeah, okay. So I think we kind of went through our list. Is there anybody else that we want to acknowledge or give accolades to?
I mean, I could mention the past president of Costa Rica, but you wouldn't know who that is.
Cool. Were they actually a decent president, or are you just like
Well,
being
they were the
crazy?
president when I first came here. I don't know if they were decent, but it's from like 2010 to 2014. So
Oh, you know what? I didn't go over. I do want to go over one other person. If I can remember her name, Cordella Knott. I want to go over Cordella Knott because during the Great Depression, when not the Knott's Berry Farm was like kind of really hit hard. She was the one who came up with the idea of serving her famous like fried chicken dinner on her fine china in her tea room to kind of be like that touch of elegance, but like I think it was like for 65 cents or something. And because of that, her husband Walter Knott attributed that to their financial turnaround. So they went from being like basically basically broke, destitute, and holding on to their farm for dear life to being what they are today. And then obviously these were a couple that's passed away because they were really old. I think they were in their 80s when they passed. But yeah, so I do want to give her like that. And then their daughter who took over ran it. I think she was the one who came up with, or she opened up like a gift shop, I think. Like, so what happened was it got so popular by word of mouth that it was just like all these people kind of started coming to the place, and then there's like hour-long waits, like a couple hour-long waits. So then she opened up like a little gift knick-knack store so for people to kind of peruse. And then so I was like, oh, that's kind of a cool family business. And then I do think it was interesting that Walter Knott, the first thing land that he opened up there was Ghost Town, and it was as an homage to his mother who came here on a covered wagon. So I just wanted to give them a little,
Oh, wow.
yeah. So,
and you
I
can
always
still go and get a chicken dinner today.
You can, thank you, Zoe. And it's still the original recipe. The only thing they don't use is, I guess, the lard that they used to use. So everything there is the original scratch
Oh, that's
recipe.
an outrage. I want lard.
Yeah, me too, Zoe. Exactly. That's how I feel. I'm like, don't tell me how to live my life. If I want to eat lard.
No.
Jesus Christ. You're going to go to like the heart attack grill?
No, because it's not an original recipe. This was almost, could you imagine? That's an old recipe. That's from like, I think what? I think they said that's like from the 19.
They sell that stuff by the tubs in the Mexican market. People still use it.
Yeah.
I don't know why they can't use it chicken.
You know what? So that makes sense. Yeah, like that's a good point. So, I mean, to me, I'm like, either lard is bad and you need to ban it for all of us,
right.
or, you're saying that Mexicans are okay to eat lard. So please. I mean, I'm a little afraid to say that because I'm afraid they're like, you're right, we should ban it from the Mexican stores as well. Because like, wait, no, I was just kidding. I don't want to get a beat down.
No. I mean, obviously, people are eating it and they're living, and I don't think lard's the problem.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's just and everything. And if it is a problem, well, everything within moderation. Okay, so I can go to McDonald's and eat like 100 hamburgers a day, but I can't have my chicken fried lard. What's wrong with you guys? But yeah, otherwise it would have been if it was not for the lard, it would have been the exact original recipe. But none of the spices or any of the other ingredients are changed, and I think it's still their own chickens. I think because I know that.
Oh wow!
Yeah. I mean, don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure it is because I do know that they actually, I'm pretty sure, have their own boysenberry. In fact, right now it's the boysenberry festival, so you can actually go and buy. It's like I don't want to call it a branch, but it's basically a part of their boysenberry plant that you can plant it in your own, and take care of it and nurture it.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so especially for those of us who are like really, and I think the boysenberry, I think it's like 3 different berries. I think it's like strawberry, blackberry, and loganberry. Let me see if I got it right. Okay. Let's say hybrid. Let's see. No, it's raspberry. Dang it. I knew I was going to screw that one. I always get so close, but then I mess it up. Okay. So yeah, it was raspberry. But at least I got the other one. It is loganberry, raspberry, and blackberry. Oh, man. I was so close. Oh, I said it myself. Anyway, so yeah. So anybody else want to add anybody else before we close out for the evening?
I think I'm good.
I'm good. I would just be listing off a bunch of actresses again.
Okay. So then I'll go ahead and close out and thank you guys for joining us. And then you guys want to tell me where you're going to be next? Zoe, what are you going to be doing next?
I'm going to be doing your conspiracy show tomorrow.
All right. I'm excited. We're going to be doing not robots, AI, evil AI. We have some evil AI stories, like evil. Anyways. So, okay, Zoe, we're happy to have you on. I'm always excited when you come on our streams.
Thank you.
Colette, what are you doing, you little weirdo? Are you going to be on our AI stream?
Yes, I will, and then I'll be on the one stream on Monday. Might show up later, might leave. I don't know. Depends when the time is, though. But yeah, I'll be doing that. There's other streams throughout the week, I guess. After like Tuesday, though, I'm gonna be dropping out just many because I don't have the time anymore. So yeah, I'm mainly just gonna be doing yours and then like one other person's basically, and that's it. And then Rosalis's, just because it's convenient.
All right, that'll be good. I'm not gonna lie, I had a blank out moment. I was like, "What are we doing on Monday?" We'll be doing the Disney one on Monday. That's right. I bet.
Yeah, right. Right. Is there not any other streams tonight? Just double check.
No, there's no more streams tonight. We'll have the conspiracy stream is at 2 p.m. tomorrow, and then I think about 4 p.m. If anybody wants to join, we'll be doing a game stream.
Okay, so that's why I got the days mixed up. I see. Because I was just like, wait, is there a game night stream tonight or no? So I was just double checking.
Oh yeah, no, not tonight. I figure we'll just do that tomorrow night, and then I think Mr. Blanks is going to be there, so that'll be exciting. Yeah. And I know I'm almost afraid of how you guys are going to act because it's been so long. So
yeah. Well, he's mine, so.
Chaz is yours. Okay. You could have him, Cole. Well, no, he doesn't want you, Cole. I mean, what's wrong with you? He's not into you.
Look, I can try.
You're not his type.
Right. Look, I can be like that character in The Notebook.
Oh my God, Cole, you have deep-seated issues sometimes. Okay, everybody have a good one. Happy International Women's Day to everybody.
Happy International Women's Day. See you later.
Yeah.